one.
That's fine. Just watch.
All right, let's go.
If not, it's fine, no worries about
Let me look at this.
All right.
First one is a direct variation. So distance varies directly as time because as time increases, the distance traveled increases first. Sound travels at 10,050 feet in 30 seconds. All right, so what is the speed of sound? Well, that's what we're trying to find. So to get the speed, okay, you basically going to take 10,500 and divide it by 30, right? That would be speed per second, wouldn't it? Okay? And then once you get that, then you're going to figure out how long it would take. So that is 335. That would be your K. Okay? So distance is equal to 335, and that is a feet per second. That's how fast sound travels. Okay? And your time. So now you put in 11,725 feet. And how many seconds will that take for that speed to travel would be?
So really, you would divide 335 by 11,000?
Well, yeah, this will give you your speed of sound, which is 335 feet per second. Okay? So now, you're gonna put what? 11 right here, and then just divide it by 335 to give you time. Everybody okay there? Is everybody okay with me doing this? I feel like y'all looking at your computers. Are you on there? Do I need to do it, or are we all good? You want me to keep going? I mean, I'm fine. I don't know what you're looking at, but this guy's a little bit more in depth. So volume of a cylinder varies jointly with the height and the radius. So we still have K, we know height, and R squared. Okay? The volume of a cylinder varies jointly with the height and the radius squared. Do you see where I'm getting at? We always have our K. So I give you some information to solve for K, and that is pi. So 3.14 times height times radius squared. We give you a new height and a new radius to find that volume, and that is going to be at 339.12, and that would be centimeters cubed. So once you plug in this beginning information here, you solve for K, which happens to be pi, which is the same thing we did in our observation the other day when we did our circumference. We divided the diameter by the circumference and got pi. So there is 8-1. Both of these are. One's a direct variation. The other one is a joint. Okay? Questions or concerns there? Everybody okay? Okay, let's scroll on down then to number 3. Simplify and identify. So step 1 would be to factor. So let's go ahead. Looks like we can take out a GCF of 4y. That would leave me with y minus 2. I'm just going to take out a common y here, which would leave me with y minus 2 also. So step 1, factor. Step 2, what cannot be y? Well, in this case, it cannot be 2 and also 0. Both of those need to be taken care of. Cannot be 0. If I put 0 in, that'd be 0 times negative 2, which is still 0. If I put 2 in here, it'd be 2 times 0, which is still 0. So do you see there's both of those? Both of those need to be done. Okay? And then step 3 is cancel. And of course, there's a lot to be canceled here, and this whole thing just ends up being 4, and y cannot be 2 and 0. Interesting.
So now, how do you get, oh, never mind. Wait, so you said, it can't, how do you know it can't be 4?
You follow that conversation that you just said. How do you get, never mind, oh, yeah.
Well, my brain was working weird. So how do you get the blue circle? Like,
Well,
what's in there?
This is this, you got this, right? Y can't be 0, or can't be 2. Then I went and canceled, and the only thing left is just 4.
Now, why can't it be 0?
Well, if I put 0 here, what's 0 squared?
0.
Minus 2 times 0.
0.
Yeah.
So how, is it 2 comma 0? Like
2 or 0.
2 or 0.
2 or 0, and then how do you get the 4?
Cancel everything else. Cancel the y squared. Cancel out.
Everything canceled.
And you just circle, you just circle the 4. Now, where do you get the 2? That's the last one I need to know, I think.
Right there. Solve for that.
You solve for that?
Y minus 2.
How did you get the zero? Like, where did you get the idea? Yeah, like how would you know that it's 0?
Oh, 2 minus 2 equals 0. Is that what you're getting?
Well, I'll go all the way back to here. Gotta set this, so y equals 0, right? And y equals, solving there, 2.
I get the 2. Yeah, but I'm just confused where the 0 comes from.
This spot right
0
here.
y's?
Yep. There's nothing else going, it's not like a binomial, it's just a y. So if I take out any, if a x, common x comes out, then it's gotta be 0, it's gotta be. Think about this, I mean, what numbers would make it go undefined? Well, if I put 2 here, what am I gonna have? 2 minus 2, which is, if I, so that would be 2 here, and then 2 minus 2, right? Well, that would be 2 times 0, which is 0. Does that make sense to you? Okay? Now, if I went the other route with it, and I put 0 here, what's 0 minus 2? Minus 2, but I still have 0 for y. What's 0 times that? 0. Hence, that's why I gotta have both of those. I don't know if that's helping enough or not. The rest of it all canceled. These guys canceled. The y's canceled, so all that's really left is 4. And also, you know, here, y can't be certain things. Can't be 2, and can't be 0. All right, ready to move on? I hope so. Number 4. Couple things you gotta do first. I would put this in standard form. So I'm gonna go with negative x squared minus 3x plus 10 over x squared plus 2x minus 8. All I did was take that top one and put it in standard form. Now, it's hard to factor when I have negative x, so I'm gonna take negative 1 out. That'll give me x squared plus 3x minus 10 over still x squared plus 2x minus 8. So all I've done there is to get this thing set up to do step 1, which is factor, okay? All that work. Put it in standard form. I had x squared, I had a negative in front, so I'm gonna get rid of that. All right, so now I'm ready to still have negative 1 out front. And I'm ready to do some factoring. So factors of 10 with a difference of 5, or difference of 3 would be 5 and 2. That's gonna be x plus 5, x minus 2. Factors of 8 with the difference of 2 would be x plus 4 and x minus 2. All right, where are we undefined here? X cannot be 2 or -4, correct, everybody? And now we're ready to cancel a few things, and these guys do get canceled, so we're left with -1. X plus 5 over X plus 4. Everybody good? All right, as you notice, I'm just basically doing one question from each skill set that we had to do. This one is multiplication, which is cancel, cancel, cancel. So I'll take 5 times 9 and we'll get 45. I'll take 6 times 10 and get 60. We'll come back to that. I have X to the 5th, Z to the 4th, Y to the 3rd on the top, on the bottom, Y3, and Z4. 45 over 60, I think 15 goes to each of those, so that would be 3 over 4. So 45 over 60 simplifies to 3 over 4. I've got Y to the 3rd, Y to the 3rd, so those are canceling. I have Z to the 4th, Z. So the Z's are gone too. All that's left is what? X to the 5th, and there's your answer. Assume all expressions are defined. You don't have to worry about where it goes to 0, the denominator, so that's great. You don't have to worry about that. Good there? The next thing is division. Well, division turns into what? Really, multiplication. So we're going to take this first one. We're going to multiply and invert our second. Okay? Those 3's are staring at me to cancel. Is that all right with everybody? Okay? And 5 over 25, I know what that gives me. That gives me 1/5, doesn't it? So I've taken care of the numbers. I've got more X's on top, it looks like, don't I? How many? Just one more. And it looks like I have more Y's on top. How many Y's? 8 of them. And there you have it. We probably won't put that 1. In most math books, we take that 1 out because we never put that there. So X, Y to the 8th over 5. Still okay, everybody? All right, our last thing is an equation. So really, it's still some of the same steps. We're going to factor. So we are going to need to factor. As we've talked about, and when we've done this, okay, good chance one of them is probably going to be the same because they cancel. So factors of 30. So one's going to be plus, one's going to be minus. Factors of 30 was going to be 6 and 5. That's going to give me that middle term of +1. So hence, we're able to cancel the 5. So now we're down to X plus 6 equals 11. Subtract 6, and this is our possible answer, X equals 5. Remember, we had step 1, which is the factor. Step 2, we canceled. And step 3, we had to check to see if it would be a solution that wouldn't cause our denominator to go to 0. Well, if we put 5 in for X, what's going to happen? We're going to get 0, aren't we? Okay. So in fact, there is no solution here because there are no X's that would make this statement true. No X's would make this equal. It can't work, which is a possibility. If you feel like you're ready, you know what's coming. Unless you've been on vacation, you should feel good about it.
Okay.
Questions at all? That's it for today.